Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and today I want to explain to you and show you why the beautiful thing about where we are in digital assets and where we are with XRP is that even if we were wrong, and we're not, about XRP and the utility side of it and the trillions of dollars that XRP can replace in nostro vostro, which is what Greg Kidd said, even if we're wrong, even if XRP, if the guys at Ripple, the people at Ripple only accomplished 1 or 10% of their goal as far as XRP being used worldwide, but we're not wrong. But even if we were wrong, I want to show you what's going to happen just on the speculation side before anyone even finds out who the winners and losers are. You and I are going to win just on the speculation side as this unfolds. And what I'm talking about is just how early we are and just while everyone is in the process of this being the beginning of the beginning and everyone just finding out who the real winners are going to be, we're going to knock it out of the park just on the money coming in to this as it being a new asset class and XRP being one of those top 5 or 10 digital assets. And I'll show you what I mean by that. I've been talking, first of all, you need to know, I was a financial advisor at Morgan Stanley back in the day. And one of the themes of this channel has always been that this is a new asset class. It's the first new asset class since the creation of bonds in like 1696 or whenever it was. It was in the 1600s. But the money, and it's always been me telling you that this money is going to come in. And I've told you for over 2 years that there will be somewhere between 1 and 5% of portfolios by financial advisors, not just in retail, but in institutional, that's going to flow into digital assets. And it'll flow across the top, say, 5 to 10, XRP being one of them. But now it's not just me saying it. Grayscale is literally giving presentations to financial advisors saying exactly what we've been saying on this channel for the last 2 years. And I'm about to show it to you. But first, I want you to see this. This market cap, it keeps on ticking up. And I mean new money flowing into this market. And this is the beginning of what I just described. You can see XRP's up 1%. The market's not going crazy yet, but you can see the new money just ticking up. Okay, now I want to show you something. This is for those of you that have been here with me for the last 2 years through the worst of the worst times. I think that you will be able to identify with this. This is Bill Gates being interviewed by David Letterman, and he was being interviewed right when everybody was just starting to experience the internet. Listen to this.
But you know, I think about this, and what about this internet thing? Do you know anything about that?
Sure.
What the hell is that exactly?
Well, it's become a place where people are publishing information.
Right.
So everybody can have their own homepage. Companies are there, the latest information. It's wild what's going on. You can send electronic mail to people. It is the big new thing.
Yeah, but you know, it's easy to criticize something you don't fully understand, which is my position here.
Go ahead.
But I can remember a couple of months ago, there was like a big breakthrough announcement that on the internet or on some computer deal, they were going to broadcast a baseball game. You could listen to a baseball game on your computer. And I just thought to myself, does radio ring a bell? You know what I mean?
There's a difference.
There is a difference.
It's not a huge difference.
What is the difference?
But you can listen to the baseball game whenever you want.
All right.
Too.
Oh, I see. So it's stored in one of your memory deals,
exactly.
And then you can come
That's
back
the
a year
RAM
later.
thing you talked about earlier.
Yeah. Do tape recorders ring a bell? I just don't know. What can you, just knowing me, the little you know me now, what am I missing here? What do I need?
Well, if you want to learn about the latest cigars or auto racing statistics.
Well, you know, I've got that covered. I subscribe to 2 British magazines, devoted entirely to motorsports, and I call the Quaker State speed line about 2 times a half hour. So now, would the computer give me more than I'm getting that way?
Oh, you can find other people who have the same unusual interests you do. And
You mean the troubled loner chat room on the internet?
absolutely.
Okay, but you see how the new technology was just made fun of? Well, we've been made fun of for years now. And guess what? Guess who's about to get the last laugh? That would be us. I want to give you a couple of, I keep telling you, we've got so many new people coming into this arena that I want to show you some of the older clips, because some of the people that are showing up right now, they don't realize that we've all been sitting around waiting for 2+ years for the banks to announce, for someone to announce banks are going to have custody. But we've got some clips, old clips that we were listening to way back when, and I want to play a couple of them for you. This one's from the Cryptic Poet. Listen to this. This is Chris Larson, one of the founders of Ripple back in the day. I can't remember when this was, but interesting clip. Listen to this.
Is this notion of building an internet for value exchange, and that's really the mission that we're trying to accomplish. What does that mean for financial institutions? Well, it means that banks remain the custodians, but they can also correspond with each other directly, and they can use this real-time settlement system without putting up capital on both sides, and with getting maximum competition for that exchange of value. It's a fundamental structural change in correspondent banking. The networks, whether that be SWIFT or Visa or Earthport, they can also use those same benefits for their customers. And then for regulators, we actually think this is also a big step forward, because you get so much more transparency. It's so much easier to track sort of degrees of separation tools in real time. We think it actually shortens the time it takes to catch the bad guys.
All right. And then there was this one from Brad Garlinghouse. For those of you, if you have anybody talking to you and saying, oh, well, it's just Ripple, it's not XRP. Well, listen to what Brad Garlinghouse said.
It's amazing to me how many people really don't realize how much friction there is in payments. We've become habituated to just expecting this is how it works. And I think, like so many other industries that have been disrupted by reducing friction, increasing speed, I think we're going to see a dramatic change over the next 10 or even 15 years that are really hard to predict today, that are the foundation that will be laid upon that internet of value. XRP is part of the heartbeat of Ripple.
Heartbeat.
It is the foundation of how we think about liquidity management, and a core problem that how the financial infrastructure works is around how liquidity is managed. Today, financial institutions are wired with pools of capital. They're called Nostro and Vostro accounts. And these are accounts that are pre-funded between financial institutions. And that's capital sitting dormant and not being used for either working capital or lending or what have you. By using a digital asset, you can enable liquidity in real time. This is transformational to how global financial infrastructure is wired. Every marathon starts with a single step. For us, the first step is getting financial institutions engaged in working with us, getting them to understand how the core technology with xCurrent works, introducing how we can help manage liquidity. There's a lot of friction and cost associated with banks and financial institutions working with other institutions. We can change and accelerate how that works really materially, dramatically, and I think introducing XRP into those flows will take time, but as I said, every marathon starts with a single step. When I zoom out and look at where Ripple sits in the blockchain and crypto ecosystem, we are incredibly fortunate to be the only company with real customers solving real problems. That is at the early stages of that marathon, but there's no doubt that as we look at the race that has started, we're the only ones that have crossed that starting line.
All right, that was Brad Garlinghouse back in the day. Peter Pumpkin Eater at Yes I'll Have Some had tweeted that out. Now, back to what I was talking about at the beginning of this video. James Rule XRP sent me this. It's a webinar where Grayscale is presenting to financial advisors. This is what we've been talking about for over 2 years on this channel. And now they're actually presenting what we've been talking about to financial advisors. And do you know why? because they have a way to get these financial advisors paid now. Listen to this. If you want to understand, and this is what I say, even if we're wrong, even if what Brad Garlinghouse just said about Nostro Vostro accounts with regard to XRP is wrong, even if Ripple completely failed in that, before anybody even finds out how all this ends up, on the speculation of all this new money coming in alone, XRP is going to be in the basket of the money that all this speculation money that's coming in from all these financial advisors and their clients. Watch what's going to happen. And it's going to be somewhere between it's going to allocate all of their portfolios somewhere between 1% and 5% into all the portfolios.
With younger audiences, and they're already putting capital to work in this investment idea, certainly ahead of
the next
other
slide. Watch this.
Generational ideas like gold, which may not resonate as much with a younger audience.
This is the slide.
And so it's important to drill into this a little bit further. A study recently revealed that about $68 trillion is going to pass down to younger generations over the next 25 years. And so we want to be clear here that we are by no means suggesting that $68 trillion is going to move into Bitcoin or into digital currencies in general, but we would be hard-pressed to believe that as investment is passed down and transferred from an older generation to a younger generation, we have to believe that the way that those assets are currently postured and the way that those assets are going to be postured as they get transferred is going to change. And we would believe that digital currency is going to be one of the beneficiaries of that. There have been some other studies done by Bankrate and Edelman and ETF Trends where we've actually seen that millennials are either 5 times more likely to invest in Bitcoin. Again, they're not even in many cases hitting their prime earning years yet. I
just want to hit this last one. The percentage of advisors allocating to crypto and client portfolios is expected to more than double in 2020 from 6% to 13%. And 76% of all financial advisors report receiving questions from clients on crypto in 2019. Now we go to 1720 where it's really laid out for you. Watch this.
Taking place under each of these verticals. Now, as advisors, the important thing to think about is portfolio construction and being able.
Do you see this? 1%, 3%, 5%. This is a timeline right here, September 2013 all the way to June. I think that says June 2020. This is the trajectory of how the money amounts have increased.
To have those conversations with investors. And so one of the things we wanted to do was take a look at that tried and true 60-40 portfolio and try and challenge that portfolio and say, what would happen to this portfolio on a
I'm not going to bore you with the rest of this, but you can kind of see how these trajectories go. But the point is that imagine all of the financial advisors across the world putting 1 to 5% of their clients' wealth in digital assets, in a basket of digital assets to get exposure to that non-correlated asset class, the new asset class, the new digital asset class. That's where this is going. And it's not going to be 1 or 2 of the companies. It's going to be all of the companies. And I'll illustrate that too with what James Rules XRP sent me. Goldman Sachs, let's see, the tweet says, Goldman Sachs has hired a new digital assets chief who speaks blockchain as the bank considers the launch of its own fiat digital token. Now, for those of you that have been here for the last 2 years, we have had to endure more head fakes from companies like Goldman Sachs and JP Morgan and all the established financial companies. They have told us that Bitcoin was a fraud. They've told us that crypto is not going anywhere. They've told us they're not going to open a trading desk. I'll just give you some examples. This is Goldman Sachs article today. Goldman Sachs eyes its own token as bank appoints new head of digital assets. Well, this is today. This is one of the articles from Goldman Sachs back, when was it? August 3rd, 2018. Goldman Sachs, Bitcoin is never coming back. I remember covering this article, okay? These are the kind of things that these people tried to scare us out of crypto with. I remember this one too. Goldman Sachs reportedly halts plans for crypto trading. So I remember people in social media seeing things like this and saying, "No, you're wrong. See, it's not happening. You said it was." I remember dealing with all of that stuff, but we weren't wrong. We knew that this was going to be a new asset class, and they tried to send us down a road of lies, and we didn't buy it. So all of you who stayed around and were not swayed by those because you knew in your gut that you were right, good for you. And you get to reap the rewards now because they didn't scare you out. And then XRP Bart sent me this. Here we go. Negative 0.25 end of year interest rates, negative rates in Bank of England's toolbox as it sees longer virus recovery ahead. Now, there was a section of Mr. B. If you don't follow Mr. B XRP, give him a subscribe. There's a section of his video today where he did a demo of Link2 and how they've incorporated XRP into their platform, and you're able to buy share SPVs, or it's kind of like equity in these companies. Ripple, Link2, Coinbase, Uphold, Blockchain, Coinvestors, Robinhood. That's what they have so far. But watch this.
Guys, so this is really cool and interesting, and I want to share this with you. So Uphold has just completed their linking up with Link2 so that people using the Link2 app, and just so everyone knows, Link2 sells private shares of companies through SPVs, and it's for accredited investors only. Now, don't be disappointed if you're not an accredited investor. There are a lot of accredited investors in the crypto space, and if you're not an accredited investor, it doesn't mean you're not going to be one in the future, especially because the SEC has made a statement that they may be making it easier and softening the requirements to become an accredited investor in the future. So everyone should listen to this. I think this is important for everyone, but I want to share this with you, so I'll be brief. Okay, so essentially, if you have a Link2 app and you want to make a purchase of SPVs, let's just say hypothetically you want to purchase Ripple. So you hit the Ripple button, and because I've already linked this to my Uphold account, if I hit buy and payment method, it will open up all of my Uphold accounts. So I could technically then pay with BTC, Ether, XRP. I could still do a wire transfer. However I want to pay for it, it makes it easy for me to do the transaction. So literally I can open up my Link2, I can make a purchase, and I can pay with assets that are on Uphold. Okay, so that's stage one of the relationship. Now, I interviewed JP Tiriot last week, and he told me after stage one, they'll be doing stage two. So here's what stage two is. Stage two is going to be all of the assets on the Link2 platform that you see here right now, and any others that they add in the future, will be available directly on Uphold. So what does that mean? Well, here's what that means to me. Coinbase, they're out of Coinbase. So they're sold out right now of Coinbase. I don't remember exactly what they were selling it for. I think it was like $30 or $35, but don't quote me on that. But I think it was that high. Robinhood's at $15 a share, right? So here's what I think. Uphold has, and they say on their website, they have 1.7 million users. So now, starting this week, 1.7 million users, if we take into consideration that maybe 3% of those people are either accredited investors or capable of being an accredited investor, that's over 50,000 people that are going to have access to all of these assets instantly, okay? So my thought process is, I think this is a tremendous opportunity for Uphold and Link2 because Uphold shares are only 50 cents. I mean, you got Robinhood is at $15. Coinbase, I believe, was over $30. So tremendous upside for people that, and also here, Link2's at 55 cents a share, and they're going to grow, obviously, with this relationship. You know, one of the things I'm hearing from people through DMs and through conversations I have with people in the space, even my personal friends who are invested in digital assets, is those that are accredited investors are looking to double down and invest in the companies that are handling these digital assets. So
anyway, that is awesome. And I saw this tweet go out this morning where Link2 had sold out of Ripple, Coinbase, Robinhood, Link2, and Blockchain Coinvestors. The only thing they had left was Uphold. And the reason that what he just said is so exciting is that if they're selling out like that before they ever are on the Uphold platform that's got, I think I heard, 2 million customers, some crazy number. If they're sold out before that, what's going to happen when all those people, and I think he used a figure, let's say there's 3% on the Uphold platform that are accredited investors. That's that's why I've been looking at this and got into some of it myself, is because that one thing, the idea of that some of these things being available on Uphold is going to drive the price of this up. That's at least how I'm thinking. Finally, I told you guys in my last couple of videos about my newsletter, and apparently the website, the thing crashed, but I got it back up. So because people were trying to get the newsletter, go ahead and get on the list. So what I'll be doing, like I said, every month I'm going to send out an email, maybe a video with it that's like some kind of video, and tell you kind of what I'm looking at, what I'm in now, what I'm thinking about getting into, or what I've gotten in, that kind of thing. So you can just get an idea of what I'm thinking about actual digital asset and pre-IPO or equity investments, as well as if I'm looking at gold or silver or whatever. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. And by the way, this is in the description of all of my videos, and it's going to be in the comments section too. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe. Hit the like button. Tell your friends and family to go subscribe to the Digital Asset Investor newsletter. Thanks for listening.